So this is Dr. Kavita Singh, Associate Professor in Department of Civil Engineering in Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So today we are going to discuss a lecture called as Indian Stratigraphy. Indian stratigraphy is the type of, it's about the previous history, the history of the rocks and the layers of the beds of the rocks, how it is formed in the previous years and previous eras. So this we'll be discussing today. We have discussed already about the different types of rocks, their formation and structure. So let us go through this lecture and start this lecture today. So in this Indian stratigraphy, it refers to the study of classification of rock layers like a strata found in India. Strata means it's a layers. Like as we know, the rocks layers are formed in a kind of layers, like one by one beds will be formed. So based on that, what type of strata is above what type of rock, this all information we study in this Indian stratigraphy. So this all refers to the study and classification of the rocks. Classification of the rocks is what, as we have discussed in the previous lecture. So classification of rocks, if we say, we have like igneous, we have metamorphic, okay, we have sedimentary. So these all types of rock, how these rocks are formed in layers. Like as we know, the rock formation are from many years, many eras back, billion years, billion years of back, the formation of the rocks are going on, and it's a continuous process. It is breaking down through weathering, it is again settling down, again it is forming a formation. Now here, based on the study of these kind of rocks, we can just get to know that the age of the rock. Okay, so it involves the identification, description, correlation of the rock. Identification, its description, its correlation of the rock formations that span different geological time periods. So I think geological time period, this is the time where the different eras, different year, the type of the species, in which era which kind of species are found. So in this time scale, if we see year by year, some rocks may have different types of fossils which are present in the rock. So once the examination or the identification of the rocks goes on based on the species present in the waste remain present in the fossils present in the rocks, will tell us the which age of the, basically the age of the rock. For example, let us say dinosaur, any kind of fossils if we found in the type of a rock strata, then we can say it was formed in the long billion years ago, when the dinosaurs were present on the earth's surface. So this is how with the fossils we get to know the age of the rock. So in this Indian stratigraphy, we just involve the identification, the description and the correlation of the rock formations that span different geological time periods. So we can just correlate with the examination and the type of the fossils, type of the minerals also when it is present in the rock. Based on that, we can just find out the age of the rock and the type of the rock layers. So the geological history of India, is highly diverse. It's a highly diverse with varying stratigraphic sequences that provide insights into the tectonic, depositional and volcanic process. Now let us say, if you talk about the geological history, so this all Indian stratigraphy, it's basically the entire history of the rocks. Okay, entire history of the rocks in India, highly diverse with a varying stratigraphic sequence, like layer by layer. The sequence will be found and provide insights into the tectonic, depositional and volcanic processes that have shaped the subcontinent. Okay, so now if you talk about the previous history, when we discuss about the types of the rock which is found in the different areas, okay, in the different areas, and these kind of rocks, how old it is and in which age it was formed. Basically, if we try to know, so the Indian stratigraphy, it is totally classified into different, we can say, as ages. Okay, it is classified as ages, like we have Archean, Precambrian. So first classification, if we see, we have this age as Archean or Precambrian age. This is this Archean age or Precambrian age. So in this age, this was older, like 3.8 to 2.5 billion years ago. So this much old it was. So this age we call it as Archean or Precambrian age. So this was the age where the lithology, the Archean rocks mainly consist of granites, consist of genesis, consist of schist and greenstones. So this, as we know, in this era, in this age, which is called as the Archean age, and it was old as 3.8 to 2.5 billion years ago. And in this, the major rocks which we found is the granites, the genesis, and schist or greenstones. These rocks are often highly metamorphosed and deformed. Okay, so these rocks are often highly metamorphosed, means it is converted from the parent rock to a metamorphism process. As in a previous lectures we have discussed about the metamorphic rock. So what is a metamorphic rock? Basically, a metamorphic rock is a rock which is just transformed from the existing rock. Transformed from the existing rock means already the rock is present, and through the heat and pressure conditions the rock goes through a transformation process, and the final product out will be as a metamorphic rock. Okay, so metamorphs and deformed. Now location, if you see, found in the peninsular shield. So this is basically found in the peninsular shield, which includes the central and the southern parts of India, such as parts of Rajasthan, the parts of Madhya Pradesh and Karnataka. So if we just identify these areas when you go for the examination of these areas, so we may find these kind of rocks, like the granites and the genesis and the schist and the greenstones will be found in these part of the India, like Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Karnataka. So most of the western parts and the southwestern parts of India, we may find these kind of Archean, these kind of rocks which is under the Archean age. Now the second thing in the Indian stratigraphy, when we classify, so here this classification says that this rocks, the formation of the rocks or this age, which is called as Proterozoic. Okay, Proterozoic age, which is 2.5 billion to 541 million years ago. So this was the age where the formation of the rock was 2.5 billion to 541 million years ago. Now in this lithology, the Proterozoic rocks includes. So what kind of rocks were found in this age? Let us see. Like it has a shale, sandstone, limestone and metamorphic rocks. Now if you remember in the previous lectures, as we have discussed before also, like these kind of rocks, if you remember, shale is a which kind of rock? Shale is a sedimentary rock, right? Sedimentary rock. Okay, sedimentary rock. Even the sandstone is a sedimentary rock. Even the limestone is a sedimentary rock. Okay, and metamorphic rock. Metamorphic rock, with these kind of rocks, the metamorphism process goes on, and metamorphism process goes on, and the metamorphic rocks are found. Okay, so notable formations are like where this kind of rocks are. Basically, it is formed in the Vindhyan supergroup, like a central India. Vindhyan supergroup, central India, like comprising sediments like sandstone, shales and limestone. And Kadapa supergroup, Deccan region, known for thick volcanic sequences, particularly like basalts. Okay, so in this Kadapa region, we can just go through this. Now, coming to the third classification of this Indian stratigraphy. Indian stratigraphy, as we know, it's about the formation of the rock, what kind of rock is formed, and the type of the rock which is required. I mean, which age the formation, which type of rocks we can see in these ages. So next we can see is Cambrian to Permian. Cambrian to Permian. So Cambrian to Permian is a Paleozoic era. We call it as a Paleozoic era. So how old it was is now, as per today, it is 541 millions to 252 million years ago. So in this age, these kind of rocks were found, and this age is called as Cambrian or Permian or Paleozoic era. Okay, so lithology in this era, rocks from this period are typically as sandstone, shales, limestones, and coal. So these are the types of rocks which is formed in these ages, and notable formation where this kind of formation has taken place. So we can say as a Kailas formation like Cambrian, known as the fossils of trilobites or Siwalik group. Siwalik group in India, like Upper Miocene or Pliocene, famous is for the fossils bearing strata, particularly the northern Himalayas regions. Okay. So next you have a era which we call it as Mesozoic era. So era is basically it's a age or a history or a that particular year, like long years ago in this region, in this era, types of the species present and the types of the formation of the rocks were found. Now Mesozoic era, if we see Mesozoic era is it is how old it is? It is 252 to 66 million years ago. So this kind of rocks which we can see here is that is 252 to 66 million years ago. We call it as Mesozoic era. So this era include sandstone, shales, limestone with notable formation of coal in central regions. So certain regions. So basically, if we have seen in the previous eras also, sandstone is sandstone and shale. Sandstone, shale, and limestone, mostly it is in all the eras where we can see here. So this is the common type of rocks which is formed in each eras. Same in the this Mesozoic era also, you can see sandstone, shales, and limestones with a notable formation of coal, okay, in the certain regions. Now notable formation where we find this in India is like Rajmahal basalt, Terracite, large volcanic province, and known for the massive flood basalt formations. Next is Deccan Traps. Deccan Traps, a large sequence of flood basalts in the western India formed by the intensive volcanic activity at the end of the Cretaceous period, contributing to the extinction of the dinosaurs. So in this Deccan Traps, a large sequence of flood basalts in the western India we find, and formed by the intense volcanic activity at the end of the Cretaceous period. So contributing to the extinction of the dinosaurs. So due to this activity, the extinction of the dinosaur started. Next we have Cenozoic era. Cenozoic era is what? Cenozoic era is also one era where it is 66 million years ago to present. So out of this all, the present era we call it as Cenozoic era. Okay, we have seen many eras like Mesozoic era, we have seen Cambrian era, we have seen Proterozoic era, we have seen Archean age. Okay, so Archean age, these were old billion years ago. So at the present situation, when we are talking about the present situation, so in this present situation, the present era, what we call it as Cenozoic era. Okay, Cenozoic era is the present where it is 66 million years ago to present situation. Now lithology is what kind of lithology? A wide variety of sediments. Okay, varieties of sediments including sandstones, including shale, and limestone. So this is the common in all the eras. Which one? Sandstone, okay, shale, and limestone. Right. So these three are the common in all the eras. Right. Sandstone, shales, limestones, as well as volcanic deposits and river sediments. And what are the notable formation here? here is Siwalik group. Siwalik group is a well-known sedimentary sequence. It's a well-known sedimentary sequence in the northern Himalayas, often used for paleontological studies. It is used for the paleontological studies due to its abundant fossils. So these formation, this lithology formation in the Cenozoic era, which is till now it is going on, the present era we call it as Cenozoic era, where the type of lithology what we find here is variety of sediments which includes sandstones, shales, limestones as well as volcanic deposits and river sediments. Now we have a notable formation here, like in a Siwalik group. If we see a well-known sedimentary sequence, in the northern Himalayas, often used for the paleontological studies. Paleontological studies means it's a old historical study. Okay, so old type of study, we call it as paleontological studies, and due to its abundant fossils. So a lot of in the Siwalik group, if we see, if we go with the paleontological study, if we start identifying that area, if we start this paleontological study, we will see that abundant fossils are present over there in the Himalayan regions. So these are all deposits basically with the in this era, whatever deposits are present in the Himalayan region, these are all deposits present over there. Now quaternary deposits. So this include, so this all comes under this Cenozoic era, and this include the alluvial, glacial, river deposits, especially in the Ganges Brahmaputra delta. Brahmaputra delta are critical for studying modern day sedimentary process. So when you talk about the quaternary deposits, so in this quaternary deposits we may find that it includes the alluvial, include the glacials and the river deposits, especially in the Ganges, Brahmaputra and Delta. In this we find all the river which flows all the sediments, all the alluvial soil, and it deposits to its in the lower part of the river. Okay, especially in the Ganges Brahmaputra Delta, where those all deposits we find, and critically for studying modern day sedimentary processes. Now, what are the major geological provinces? Major geological provinces in India. So when you talk about the major geological provinces, we have like basically the regions. Okay, regions divided in India. Okay. So in India, how are the regions are divided here? So major geological provinces, we have peninsular India. We call it as peninsular India. We call it as Himalayan region. We call it as Deccan Plateau. We call it as Indo-Gangetic Plain. Okay, so these are the major geographical or geological regions where we can classify the entire India into 5 classifications here, or 4 classifications here. That is peninsular India, we have a Himalayan region, we have a Deccan Plateau, we have an Indo-Gangetic Plain. So let us see what is this peninsular India. Peninsular India is dominated by the ancient Archean and Archean and Proterozoic rocks. Archean. So what is the Archean age? If we go back, yeah, here. So in the Archean age, the type of rock what we find is granite, genesis, and greenstones. Okay, so this is dominated by peninsular India, dominated by the ancient Archean. So we find the granite, genesis, and the other type of rock in this region. Then you have a Himalayan region is the second classification here. So it's a youngest rocks. So tertiary or quaternary with a active mountain building process. It is called as the Himalayan region, where we find the youngest rock in this region. Then you have a Deccan Plateau. So famous for its Deccan Traps. So Deccan Plateau is very much famous for the Deccan Traps of volcanic formation. So now present situation, if we see, there is no volcanic eruptions in the regions. Like in the previous ages, in the previous eras, there was a chance that there is a volcanic eruption over there, and due to that, this is famous for the Deccan Traps or volcanic formations, what we call it as Cretaceous. Okay, so that's why we call it as Deccan Plateau. Now next is a Indo-Gangetic Plain. Indo-Gangetic Plain is mostly covered with quaternary alluvium formed by the Ganges and its tributaries. So, Indo-Gangetic Plain is a mostly covered quaternary alluvium and formed by the Ganges and its tributaries. So, Indo-Gangetic Plain basically it is found in the what you can say eastern parts of India, where it deposits all the where the delta Gangetic delta is present, where it deposits all the alluvial soils or all the sediments over there. Okay. Now, what is the stratigraphic relationships and the tectonic settings? So, stratigraphic relationships and tectonic settings. So, India's stratigraphy is influenced by its position. India's stratigraphy it is influenced by its position in the supercontinent cycles. Now, if you remember in the previous lectures, also there was a we have discussed about the formation of the Earth's surface, and as we know, there was a single continent previously. There was a no different continents. So when the Earth was formed, so there was a single continent. It was called as Gondwana supercontinent. So there was a single continent like this. There was no other continents. So we call it as Gondwana supercontinent. Much of India's geology during the Permian to Jurassic period was part of Gondwana supercontinent. So when the supercontinent was there, like all over the world, when you see the Earth's surface, we can see different continents over there, but there was no continent, all combined, all the now you can see the continents are divided like this. Okay, continents are divided like this, but previously it was the combined one. Okay, so this combined single continent is called as Gondwana supercontinent. Okay, Gondwana supercontinent. So this supercontinent was present in the previous ages. That ages itself, the what you can say, the formation of the Permian Jurassic period. That was the Jurassic period when the dinosaurs were present over there, and of the Gondwana supercontinent before it broke up, leading to the formation of Super Indian continent. Okay, so before it was supercontinent, later slowly it is splitted. It has moved apart, as we know, due to this tectonic forces. Okay, tectonic forces or tectonic activity. This is the movement of the plate. Okay, movement of the plates. Okay, plate means all the continents which are continuously moving. So as you can see in this, all the continents are together. Now these continents are little separated from its sides. Okay, so it is separated slowly. It is moving apart. Okay, slowly it is moving apart. One side it is moving, or else sometimes it is colliding, moving apart, or colliding. Sometimes it is colliding, sometimes it is moving apart. So that age itself was a Jurassic age, and the formation of Indian supercontinent. Later, when it started moving apart, the formation of Indian supercontinent was formed. Now, the tectonic activity, the collision of, as I said just now I said, the collision of Indian plates. Which are the Indian plates here? So, as this is your continent, entire continent, so your entire continent is divided into different boundaries. Okay. So now, as at present, what we say is there are different continents, but previously it was just combined. Okay, so this is like this, it was combined. Now slowly it is moved apart. So these are all called as plates. So plate 1, plate 2, all are the plate boundaries. These are all plate boundaries. Okay, so slowly the collision of Indian plates has taken place with the Eurasian plate, led to the formation of Himalayas. So, is in the previous lecture also I told you, wherever the tectonic forces are acting, wherever the earthquake region is there itself the Himalayas are formed. Okay, so wherever you find this plate boundaries, there itself the Himalayan regions are formed. So, Eurasian plate led to the formation of Himalayas and significant tectonic deformations in the northern part of the country. So what are the important geological events here? So important geological events here is breakup of Gondwana. So as it was a single continent, slowly it has break into pieces. Breaking in sense nothing like a breaking one, like as it is moving apart. So from here, if this is the joint and this is the joint, so it has moved apart. So later what happened? So the joints became like this. So now this is one continent. So other continent is like this, and the other continent became like this. Other continent became, previously it was joined like this. So this is the previous one. If I see the previous one, so this is what the condition was. So it was joined like this, and slowly when it is moving apart, when the collision is taking place, when this is the previous one, okay, this is the previous one, and this is the present situation which is moving apart. So as it is moving apart, what is happening here is the continents are separating. So once the continents are separating, the separate continents are formed. Now later it has divided into supercontinent to Indian subcontinents. Okay, so breaking of Gondwana this is the event that led to the opening of Indian Ocean, separation of India from the Antarctica and Australia. So as we are saying, we have 7 continents. So these continents are, before it was like this. So this was the before condition. This was the before condition. Now slowly it has started. Now present situation, you have seen the world map, how it looks like with the different continents. So Deccan Traps. So one of the largest volcanic provinces, one of the largest volcanic provinces in the world, formed towards the end of the Cretaceous period, which is significant implications and climate and mass extinctions. So next is Himalayan or orogeny, Himalaya orogeny, the collision of Indian plates with the Eurasian plates starting around 50 million years ago continues to the shape and the landscape. Okay. Now let us talk about the applications here. So the applications of the Indian stratigraphy. Indian stratigraphy means to study of these rocks. So if we talk about the applications here, so it is helpful in the petroleum exploration. Petroleum exploration is the stratigraphy helps in identifying potential reservoirs for hydrocarbons, especially in the regions like Cambay Basin, Assam, Archean Basin, and the Krishna Godavari Basin. So, petroleum exploration is the stratigraphy helps. So, it identifies the potential reservoirs of hydrocarbons, especially in the regions of Cambay Basin, Assam, Archean Basin, and Krishna Godavari Basin. Next thing is the mining. It is also the Indian stratigraphy is helpful in the study of coal, limestone, mineral deposits in a various geological formations. So it helps in the formation of the geological formation of the mineral deposits and all. So help in the mining process. Now paleontological research. What is the paleontological research? If we say, so stratigraphy aids to studying the studying the distribution of fossils. Providing insights into the Earth history and the evolution. So stratigraphy aids to the studying and the distribution, first of all, for the fossils, and providing insight into the Earth history and evolution. Okay, so these applications are basically, it is helpful in this Indian stratigraphy because it is study of old history of the rocks formation. Okay, different eras, Precambrian, Archean, or Cenozoic. These all eras we study. So present situation is the Cenozoic era. If you remember, we have seen just now Cenozoic era, where it is the present situation of India. Okay, so this is how it is helpful and it is useful for this research. Now these are the references which you can just go through to find out more content. So you can just go through the Keshavlu and Chenna. This is the textbook of engineering geology, which will show you, you can get the more information, more content about this topic, and you can just go through in detail, right? Also, you can go through this Venkat Reddy engineering geology, or you can go through this Vasudev Kaniti, and as to this all books, you can just go through to find out more content about this topic. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.